My boys, if you are watching this video, that means this laptop is finally working again. So make sure you slap that thumb because it was an absolute mission to get this hunk of junk to work again. And that means we're back in business. And now let's continue on to the newest episode of Hollywood Uncensored podcast. So that's like the fourth different intro music I've used on this podcast already, and we're only 5 episodes deep, my boys. And here's the reason. For whatever reason, last week's song, which I really enjoyed, and I really wanted that to be the intro music for this podcast, was apparently copyrighted by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers be some savages. They be some savages right now. They are not messing around when it comes to copyright issues. They are just throwing them out everywhere, suspending accounts, taking people down with them. Like, I uploaded that Batman picture, that newer Batman picture from the set of the Batman on my YouTube community feed, which I'm very active on, by the way. And I'll let you guys know why I've been MIA for the last 6-7 days. We'll get to that later on. But I uploaded that picture on my community feed, and then I get a DM, and I'm seeing all these other like interactions on Twitter, people freaking out because Warner Brothers was just not having it. They were pissed that picture of the Batman leaked and that it was just spreading like wildfire on all over social media. But my take on that is, give us a better picture of the Batman. Don't wait till somebody, and I don't know who this was, I don't know if this guy had camouflage on, don't wait for somebody to take a picture of the Batman on set and then upload it onto Twitter or Reddit, wherever it first surfaced, and then watch it spread like wildfire, and then get mad at the accounts that are tweeting or YouTubing or reposting this picture. Like, people should not be punished for spreading a picture that they did not take. Like, if that picture was taken, it was unbeknownst to anybody, like including myself, and we just wanted to share how the Batman looked because it was the first time seeing the Batman suit in broad daylight. Now, if you want to avoid all of that, Warner Brothers, give us a better picture. Give us a HD image of Robert Pattinson in the Batsuit in better lighting, not the red lighting you did. As much as I love the video, the camera test that Matt Reeves did, and that video is still getting crazy views, so thank you for that as always. As much as I love that, I still want to see that suit in better lighting. So of course, and obviously that was a stunt devil dressed in that new Batman suit. That was not Robert Pattinson's Batman. Obviously, it's going to spread like wildfire because people are excited for this movie. And now there's another picture that's going through Reddit and Twitter, and it looks like it's a scene from the movie, which was already confirmed by Matt Reeves because he took a picture of the chair, and it looks like it's somebody that's been tortured by the Riddler. And I don't want to post it or share it at all because WB ain't messing around. They are being savages right now. And again, I take this back to the intro music last week, which I really enjoyed. Uploaded the podcast. Literally a minute later, I get an email from Warner Brothers that apparently that song that I used for 4 seconds was copyright. And so it's just annoying. Copyright issues on YouTube continue to be an absolute mess. It's these automated robots that just, copyright absolutely everything. And it's really hard to share things moving forward. But my boys, I gotta be honest with you, I've been MIA the last 6 days because I thought this laptop was RIP. Not gonna lie, I thought this laptop was fried. Laptops are not cheap, so I was trying to figure out a situation to upload a video. Now, I have iMovie on my iPhone, but editing on your iPhone is impossible. There's just no way of doing it correctly. It doesn't have all the kicks and all the nice things that you have on like a desktop, on a laptop, or on the computer at home. So it's very difficult to edit any video on iMovie on an iPhone. I wish they would add better features like music and the ability to, pretty much use another video and add it to the video you're reacting to. Like, I would not be able to do reactions at all moving forward if this laptop did not fix. And I don't want to toot my horn yet, but if you are watching this video, that means, or listening to this podcast, that means the laptop is fixed and your boy is back in business. So that's like huge news. I'm still being wary. I'm crossing my fingers I just did not jinx it, but we'll find out when I'm editing this video in another hour. But my boys, let's just jump right into this. This is episode number 5 of Hollywood Uncensored podcast. It has been a very emotional 2 days. The Kobe Memorial was today. The celebration of life of Kobe and Gigi. That one, I really wanted to record this podcast earlier. I did not expect that memorial to be like 4 hours long. very emotional, very still hard to like realize that this is reality or that this is an actual thing that happened. It still doesn't sound real when you say it. And it was had some beautiful moments, had a beautiful performance by Beyonce. Rob Pelinka's speech was fantastic, but Michael Jordan stole the show. I mean, man, his speech was absolutely beautiful. If you have not seen that Michael Jordan speech, I highly recommend you go check it out on YouTube because it's already all over YouTube. Him making fun of the MJ crying meme was just the icing on the cake, and you could just tell that him and Kobe had that brotherhood together, and the whole memorial thing really took a lot because it really did feel like it happened all over again. It felt like the day of when everything went down, and the fact that it's going to be a month and 2 days since it happened, man, like January dragged. Like January was the longest month I could ever remember, and February just went by super quickly. The fact that in 2 days it's going to be a month since that tragedy happened is insane because I still don't want to believe it. I still can't believe it. To me, it's not reality. But today, celebrating the life of Kobe Bryant, it really hit a lot of fans really hard. And for all the people that were lucky enough to go to the memorial today, the celebration of the life of Kobe and Gigi, that's a moment I hope all of you cherish, and it's something that you're never going to forget because it's an insane moment in history. Like if you would have told me 10 years ago that in 2020 there was going to be a Kobe memorial at Staples Center and Michael Jordan was going to be talking about Kobe Bryant in past tense, I would not have believed it in a second. But yeah, so it's been a very emotional 2 days. The Lakers beat the Celtics yesterday, which I enjoyed. Your boy went to Buffalo Wild Wings with his baby girl. And you know what, man? It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute since your boy has had some B-dubs or watched an actual full basketball game at B-dubs. Because gotta be honest, and she's probably going to kill me for this, you know, the girl ain't very excited about watching basketball games. She swears she's a Laker fan, but when we're there watching the game, she gets fussy like a child, and then we have to leave super early. So usually she allows me to only watch half of a game, not all of the game. But luckily, because I told her, look, I know you get fussy, I know you get annoyed, but let me just watch this game. Because there's nothing better and there's nothing bigger than Lakers Celtics. That's the rivalry for me. I love to hate Boston. I love to hate the Celtics. Yesterday was a little difficult to hate them because they were wearing the purple armbands out of respect to Kobe, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. But that game was just off the rails, man. Back and forth action, back and forth. That game was fun. And watching it at a B-dubs really reminded me of all the times I used to go out to watch games. It was a really fun experience and a really fun day yesterday. So many highs, a little bit of lows here and there. Hopefully this laptop is fixed. I worked on it yesterday and I'm thinking it's working again. So a lot of highs, a lot of lows. It's been a very emotional 2 days. And also last night, your boy finally watched Zombieland Double Tap. Now, Zombieland has a very special place in your boy's heart. One of the first times I've ever gone out, like ever. This is my junior year of high school. Your boy's mom used to shelter me a lot. You know, as the only child, you get the blunt of all the attention, which is why I always wished I had a sibling to get all the attention off my back. But as the only child in a very small family, you get all the eyes on you. So your boy was very sheltered. I wasn't really allowed to go out or hang out with my friends, especially on weekends. But when Zombieland came out, that was one of the first times my mom really allowed me to go out and have some fun. So me and my boys, one of them being Rossi, we went out after, this is my junior year, so I'm rocking about the age of 16 years old. And Zombieland just came out. And now you're probably thinking, okay, the movie is rated R. It was. So we got to the theater. Krikorian was the theater we went to at the Buena Park Mall, which is the worst mall in Southern California. I'm not joking. This is an absolute ghost town of a mall. Nobody goes there. All they have is a John's Incredible Pizza, a Walmart, and a theater. And they have a Buffalo Wild Wings that's always dead as well. I mean, yeah, they have some pretty decent stuff there, but literally nobody goes to this mall. The only people that go to that mall is the only time this mall is even packed is probably Friday nights because all the kids from all the high schools in Buena Park, including Kennedy, which is where I went to, all go there on Friday nights for whatever reason. We were one of those kids back in the days, and I don't know if they still do that still, but we used to go to Buena Park Mall a lot. So we get there to go to the Krikorian, which is a shitty-ass small theater, by the way. It's a really just small theater, but it's close, cheap ticket prices. Of course, we went there. So we get there. First problem ensues, so we figure it out. You know, the movie's rated R. we're not going to be able to purchase the tickets because we're all 16-year-old, and the one that turns 17, we have to wait till like December, and this is around October time, so this is Halloween season. So we're trying to figure this out. Like, we're trying to come up with a plan to find a way to watch this movie, because we really want to watch this movie because we love the cast. I mean, come on, you had Jesse Eisenberg, you had Emma Stone. It was a fantastic cast of characters that we wanted to see, and me and Rossi have always been a fan of zombies, so we really wanted to see this movie. So we get to the theater, obviously, and we're met with, with this struggle of trying to get a ticket. So I come up with a plan. Let's buy one ticket. Let's see what theater Zombieland is, and let's see what movie is right next to it. Because the movie theaters are always like close together, and we see that Couples Retreat, the movie with Vince Vaughn, is right next to Zombieland. Couples Retreat was PG-13 from what I remember. Well, obviously it was because they gave us a ticket. So we ended up purchasing the ticket for Couples Retreat. We get into the theater. And now this theater is super small, man. Like, it's very, very small. The whole mall is small. I don't even know why they call it a mall, to be honest with you. It's one of the most tiniest things in the world. But anyways, we get to the mall. We buy the Couples Retreat tickets. We get into the theater. We go inside Zombieland. So this is like one of the first experiences that I really had of going out. And the first movie we watched was Zombieland. My boys, we loved it. Like, from beginning to end, Zombieland was one of the most enjoyable movies we had ever seen. It was one of the best zombie movies we had ever seen. Bill Murray's scene in that movie was absolutely fantastic. We enjoyed it. Me and Rossi were having a great time watching that movie. The friends that we went to were acting, I get like childish, because they're all excited. Oh my God, we snuck into a rated R movie. But that's the thing that we had to do to watch this movie at that time. It was a fun night. It was a very fun night. It was a very crazy night indeed. But so I've had that special connection with Zombieland. It's a movie me and Rossi have watched in the past. It's a movie that I always watch whenever they put it on Sci-Fi or on the USA Network. Whenever Zombieland is on, your boy is going to watch the movie. So I was very excited for Zombieland Double Tap, but for whatever reason, I didn't watch it on its release date. Like, I really wanted to, but for whatever reason, it just passed my mind why I did not watch Zombieland Double Tap, because it took 9 years, my boys. 9 years for them to complete this movie, which is wild. And I want to see how much money the original Zombieland made. This is why I need a producer. But Zombieland, was very fun indeed, and I really enjoyed it. But like, we waited a minute. It made $102.4 million in the box office. Not bad, but not great. For the cast it had, I can understand why they were kind of probably wanting a little bit more, but I know the fans really wanted a second sequel. You see that at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. You would think that they would have pushed out a second one. The movie came out in 2009. We had to wait till 2019 to get the second part of Zombieland. How insane is that? 2-year wait to get part 2 of this amazing cast. And okay, so I watched Zombieland 2 last night, because we've been using Amazon Prime, so we've just been renting movies. And I also watched Knives Out, but I'll get into that after I talk about Zombieland 2. So honestly, Zombieland 2, not that bad, my boys. I really enjoyed it. For me, it was the Clerks 2 for that genre. Like, Zombieland Double Tap is a very, very much comparable to Clerks 2. And I'm not just talking to that because of Rosario Dawson. She's fantastic. But Zombieland Double Tap is very reminiscent of Clerks 2. And I feel like Zombieland, the first one, is very reminiscent of the first Clerks. And I feel both of those movies, all 4 of these movies, are very much similar together if you really put it together. It really feels like Zombieland is kind of like a Kevin Smith creation, which probably is why I love that movie so much. So Zombieland 2, I enjoyed it. Is it better than the first one? No. I mean, yeah, they kind of went a little bit too, I don't want to say too camp. Well, yeah, they kind of went a little bit too campy. A lot of the jokes didn't hit. I missed the fact that the first one was very centric to the 4 of them. And then this one, they try to introduce to you these all new characters that are supposed to add something new to it. A lot of them are annoying. A lot of them aren't. But they didn't really add anything to the story. The movie is very short. It flies by very quickly. And, a lot of the CGI, you had 10 years to make this movie. You couldn't have, kind of made the CGI and the editing a little bit better here and there. But as a fan of the original Zombieland, I really did enjoy this movie. I thought through Fui, it was a very enjoyable, fun experience. There's not a moment in this movie where I was like, that's kind of stupid, or this is lacking something. I enjoyed it through and through. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's hilarious. It's Clerks 2, but in the zombie world. And I think that's what makes it so great. I think that's why I liked this so much. Obviously, again, not as great as the first one, but it's a very enjoyable movie, and I dug it. And that has probably hands down, the best mid-credit scene of all time. Bill effing Murray, my boys. Anything with Bill Murray, you got my money, because I am a huge Bill Murray fan. So anything that has Bill Murray in any capacity, you're going to get my money. I do like how he was probably one of the first ones to notice the zombies. It's like, it goes back to him trying to make Garfield 3. Spoilers, by the way. Zombieland's been out for a while if you haven't seen it, but spoilers. I really do like how he was just like trying to push the trilogy of Garfield. They should make a trilogy of Garfield, man. I would watch that in a heartbeat. If it was Bill Murray, anything with Bill Murray, even if it is Garfield CGI'd, or if it's Bill Murray in a Garfield suit, you got my money. Put Garfield in the Avengers. That would be... Ooh, forget anybody else. Forget Groot. Replace Groot with Garfield. That would be an instant classic right there, my boys. So I really enjoyed Zombieland Double Tap. It's a very fun movie. The cast is still very strong. The dialogue is not as strong, but it's still fun. The comedy, you're going to have a fun time. So if you have not watched Zombieland Double Tap, your boy highly recommends it. Now, here's one that's probably going to lose me some subscribers, and it's probably going to give me some dislikes, because I know a lot of people that like this movie, and I hated it. And I mean hated this movie. Everybody kept telling me that Rian Johnson's new movie, Knives Out, was an instant classic. And I saw the trailers, and I saw the people that were hyping it up, and it looked like a perfect formula for a really good movie. Now, obviously, everybody always brings up The Last Jedi when they talk about Rian Johnson, and obviously, you know, that's just is what it is. Rian Johnson with original ideas like Looper is fantastic. Like, Rian Johnson is better at doing original ideas than working with genre movies or fandom movies like Star Wars. That's just my opinion, because I love Looper. And I'm on the fence with The Last Jedi. I don't hate it, nor do I love it. I thought it was a very average movie that, you know, had some highs and had some lows, kind of like how your boy was feeling today and yesterday. So I was very excited for Knives Out. So we rent the movie to watch it, and we end up watching it. And obviously, that's a dumb thing to say. But anyways, we watched the movie. Look, y'all probably going to give me a dislike after this. I thought the movie was complete trash. I really do. I did not enjoy this movie at all. And maybe it wasn't the movie for me. And I can see why people enjoy Knives Out, because the dialogue is fantastic. The cast is stacked, and they're amazing. The chemistry between the characters is very fun. There's a lot of hints towards Meet the Parents and Clue. It's a very exciting mix and mash of characters. But at the end of the day, for me personally, I hated the story. I thought the whole movie was predictable. I thought it was too messy. I thought that telling us what happens 30 minutes into the movie really took me out, because the rest of the way, the movie was just predictable. Like, I could tell what was going at. I could tell what the plot twist was going to be, because I remember I'm watching the movie. I'm probably like an hour in, and I was already over it. I got completely bored. People were telling me, just wait for the plot twist. Wait for the plot. The plot twist happens. Saw it coming. Like, I don't know. I don't know what people saw other than, yeah, it's a really great cast, and the dialogue is awesome. And Daniel Craig is absolutely amazing in this movie. Like, he kills this movie. And sure, I would love to see more from that character. And I know they are possibly working on a second Knives Out. At least that's reported the plan. But I gotta be honest, I didn't get the hype. And maybe it just wasn't the movie for me. But me, I'd rather watch the Family Guy Clue episode than rewatch Knives Out. I gave... And this is crazy. And again, if you push the dislike button, I understand that completely. If you disagree with me, please comment down below and let me know why. You're probably like thinking blasphemy. How can you hate this movie? Everybody loved it. I just personally, your boy just was not a fan. Maybe it's a Rian Johnson thing. Maybe I'm bitter over The Last Jedi. I don't think that's it though, because I didn't hate The Last Jedi. There was things I really loved about The Last Jedi, but there was also things I did not like about The Last Jedi. But I loved Looper. Looper is one of my all-time favorite movies. Looper is a fantastic movie from Rian Johnson. But I just did not get, at the end of the day, I just didn't understand the big hoopla and the big hype over Knives Out, because the whole movie was just a predictable mess to me. Like, the storyline, it felt like anybody could have wrote this story. It just felt like a lot of, the pacing was weird. The story arc was very weirdly constructed, but it's glued together because these fantastic actors and actresses are doing such a phenomenal job in this movie. It really holds it together. But from a story point of view, And from a beat point of view, it really threw me off, and I lost interest in that movie very quickly. I ended up giving Knives Out, and I'm so sorry if this triggers anybody. I gave Knives Out a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. It's one of my lowest rated movies of last year, and I'm sorry. I just, and I gave, I believe I gave Zombieland Double Tap a solid 6 out of 10. So yeah, I gave Zombieland Double Tap a higher score than Knives Out. And I tweeted about this on my Twitter. By the way, follow your boy on all his social medias. It's just Hollywood Holguin. Holguin. The actual Hollywood Holguin, not the racist one, so don't get it mixed up. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry. I thought Knives Out was a tad bit overrated. I tweeted about this on Twitter, and I obviously first, it took literally a minute for somebody to be like, no, this movie wasn't for you. And maybe it wasn't. Maybe I just didn't get it. And I know a lot of people are telling me I should give it a second chance, but I just have no interest. Again, I'd rather watch the Family Guy Clue episode than force myself to watch another predictable, or not another, but watch again the predictableness of Knives Out. I don't know. I guess I expected the movie to kind of really be a mystery, to be solved. I really wanted the mystery to be like, who was the killer? Kind of like Clue. And I know a lot of people were related to comparison, was like, oh, the movie's like Clue. But I really wanted to see them flesh that out a little bit more. And they didn't. So I was kind of very upset when they're 30 minutes into the movie, they tell you how exactly kind of it happened. But they're like, but wait, there's a plot twist. But the plot twist is very predictable. You'll not see it coming, even though you could probably guess it. Because I know when Baby Girl watched the movie, she had the movie done 20 minutes into watch the movie. And I'm like, thank you, point proven. But she loved the movie. I didn't. I thought it was awful. I was not a fan of it, my boys. And maybe that was my whole thing, but I just wasn't a fan of the episode, of the movie Knives Out. That was just my preference. I would say watch Zombieland Double Tap. Give Knives Out a chance. Again, a lot of general audiences love that movie. Your boy, personally, if you want to take my opinion with a grain of salt, I would say skip it, but I'd give it a chance. I'm just saying, Bryan Johnson deserves at least that, a chance to open up your mind. I would say going into that movie, don't expect too much. That would be my go-to saying if you were planning to watch Knives Out. So yeah, that was my hot take. I know that's probably blasphemy that your boy preferred Zombieland Double Tap over Rian Johnson's Knives Out. But hey, man, everybody's got a different taste. I thought Joker was the movie of the year last year. I thought Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was the second best movie of the year last year. And I know people that didn't like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So different tastes, different flavors, it just depends. It's subjective. Everybody has a different opinion nowadays, and nothing is wrong. Well, there is some wrong opinions out there nowadays, but when it comes to movie criticism, everybody has a take. Everybody has. Film Twitter is wild, man. One of the wildest things I've ever discovered on Twitter was how picky and how toxic film Twitter. I mean, Twitter in general is toxic, but film Twitter, man, do they take this? The fandoms, man. Fandoms for any movie, Star Wars, Batman, DC, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, those fandoms on Twitter, man, they're almost getting as bad as K-pop Twitter. And K-pop Twitter ain't nothing to mess with, man. K-pop Twitter will drag you, and they'll drag you for a solid week if they have to until you're canceled. I don't mess with K-pop Twitter, man. I know Keemstar went after them, but your boy ain't going to do that stupidity. But anyways, look, so I'm really happy. If this video is up right now, your boy is very elated because that means this whole thing is working. And again, your boy, I gotta be honest with you, your boy kind of considered quitting YouTube for a little bit this last week. I really wanted to destroy this laptop. I'm not kidding, my boy. And it was such an easy, I hope. I'm trying to talk about this like it's already fixed, but I'm not sure. It worked yesterday when I made the test run. Watching now not work when I'm trying to do it today, but it worked on the test run, so I'm hoping it works again, but we don't know though yet. I think I fixed it, and I think what was wrong with it was my iMovie events were so filled up. I had iMovie events since 2017, so I had 3 years worth of iMovie events. Look, I didn't know I had to delete them. I really didn't. I didn't know I had to get rid of them. But come to find out that was probably what was slowing down my entire laptop, because the laptop itself wasn't messed up. Everything else was working. I was still able to watch my shows. I'm still able to use GarageBand. I'm still able to use the internet. It doesn't go any slower. It just, iMovie was the problem. I could not edit. And again, I'm not going to edit on my iPhone because that is a mission. That is very difficult to do. So I was trying to figure out a way to do this. I sent this out somewhere to see if they could figure out what the problem was. They tried to figure it out for a few days. They brought it back to me. They told me to get, because they wanted to factory reset the laptop, which means I would have lost almost everything. And I have some stuff in my iMovie library that your boy needs when he's editing. But it was very frustrating because I want to upload a bunch of stuff. Like, your boy really, here's the thing, like, your boy did film a Raw top 10 reaction last week. Like, that video exists. I filmed the video, I edited the video, and then I literally waited 3 hours, or was on my laptop for 3 hours trying to save the video. After heading into the 4th hour, your boy was over it. Like, I'm not going to be sitting here trying to get this thing to work when I didn't know what the problem was. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if I had a bug or if this was the end of this laptop, if this laptop was RIP. It was very difficult to figure out. So I had the top 10 Raw reactions ready. I don't want you guys to think that I did not have that video done. I had that video done. I just could not save the video to upload the video. That was the main issue there. It wasn't working. And hopefully it is working, because laptops are very expensive, man. And I also wanted to do a reaction to Cody and last week's AEW Dynamite, because AEW Dynamite last week was a killer, man. Like, that was probably the best AEW Dynamite that I've had a chance to watch. Hands down, from the tag team match between Kenny and Hangman versus the Lucha Bros, from the tag team battle royal to Jeff Cobb versus Moxley, even though I thought it was a mistake to have Jeff Cobb take the L there. I thought you could have had all the shenanigans that took place after the match, especially Darby Allin, who Darby Allin is looking like a star. Like, Darby Allin is looking like a legitimate star. Darby Allin may be the new Jeff Hardy. I'm going to throw that out there. I think Darby Allin may be the new Enigma Jeff Hardy. And it's going to be very interesting to see, because the crowd loves him. Like, the crowd is all in on Darby Allin. The problem is, you built up Jeff Cobb for a week. You made him to seem like this missionary monster, kind of like Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. And then you had him lose in a roll-up to Jon Moxley. Now, I'm not a Moxley hater. I was never a fan of Dean Ambrose, but I think Jon Moxley has been a refreshing take on the character. I think Jon Moxley has been killing it. But I don't think Moxley needed that win, and I don't think Jeff Cobb definitely did not need that loss. At the end of the day, I think you could have had a disqualification. You could have had Moxley hit the paradigm shift and had Jeff Cobb in a little bit of trouble. And then you could have had Jericho, Sammy, and all those guys run into the ring and attack him, and then it'd be called a disqualification. Because now Jeff Cobb has an L, even though Jeff Cobb doesn't sign a full contract yet. You know, Jeff Cobb has been offered a contract by AEW, which was a very fascinating contract that I've heard, because if Jeff Cobb is to agree to this AEW contract, he would be full-time with AEW, but he would still be allowed to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, by saying that, yeah, does that open a door for a potential New Japan Pro Wrestling partnership with AEW? That's something that everybody wants. Obviously, I think AEW would love that. I think New Japan has still a little bit of bitterness to the fact that they pretty much are getting gutted by AEW. They're not going to be fans of losing Luke Harper either. Or Lance Archer, my bad. Harper is from WWE. Harper, I missed him up, man. Lance Archer is the one that's leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. Harper's the one that left WWE. He's also headed to All Elite Wrestling, but they weren't using him, so that's a different story. Lance Archer, these guys look very similar in size, by the way, but Lance Archer, who was the former IWGP United States champion, he is planning to leave New Japan Pro Wrestling and sign with AEW. Now, my thing with like New Japan Pro Wrestling, if they don't want to lose talent to AEW, then the best course of action, in my opinion, is to have a partnership with AEW, because in that partnership, you could work out the parameters where, yeah, they could use these wrestlers, but also if New Japan needs them, they'll also be able to use them too, because at the end of the day, AEW is allowing them to use Chris Jericho and Moxley. Like, AEW isn't throwing a fuss because they're using, Jericho or Moxley. They're okay with that. So you would think that's like a one-way street. But I still think there's a lot of bitterness in over there with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think they still feel a lot of bitterness towards losing Kenny and the Elite. Obviously, they felt the damage of that when they first went to Long Beach after losing the Elite. That Long Beach show was completely dead, if I remember correctly. So Jeff Cobb has been offered a contract by AEW. And in that contract, he will be able to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling as well, as stated. The biggest loser in that whole negotiation, if it is agreed upon, is obviously Ring of Honor. Now, Ring of Honor is very, very interesting because I think Ring of Honor will make a run at Matt Hardy, but them losing Jeff Cobb, because them and Jeff Cobb have a kind of a deal under the table, and I've discussed this on this channel, and I've discussed this on Mats and Marks every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Pacific, on free admission on Facebook and YouTube. But I discussed that Ring of Honor and Jeff Cobb kind of had a wink-wink under-the-table deal where Jeff Cobb can work anywhere. He's the free agent to go anywhere he wants, as we've seen now. But they still want him to work for ROH, but under the table. That's why ROH was announcing matches that had Jeff Cobb featured. Now, Jeff Cobb will still probably get those jobs done for ROH, but ROH losing Jeff Cobb, especially with Marty involved, now as the leader of ROH, that's a huge loss. Because even though Jeff Cobb took the L last week, I really do believe Jeff Cobb's a superstar in the making. Like, the future of wrestling, especially on AEW, can be built around Darby Allin, MGF, and Jeff Cobb, and Sammy Guevara. Those 4 guys, and Jungle Boy, I would throw Jungle Boy on there as well. Those 5 men could be the future of All Elite Wrestling when it's all said and done. Because they're super young, they're super talented, they're getting to wrestle with some of the best wrestlers in the world, they're learning from Jericho's, the Omegas, the Matt and Nick Jacksons, the Codys. There's a lot of young, good talent in All Elite Wrestling. And I think Jeff Cobb is going to be a superstar if AEW can get a contract done. And if I'm Jeff Cobb, I'm going to take that deal. Because you're going to be on TNT, you're going to get the money, but you can still make your trips to Japan, just like Moxley and Jericho. For me, that's a win-win for everybody. And if I'm New Japan, I'm taking notice of that and being like, well, man, if we can get a deal done, we could have shows that feature possibly Kenny Omega instead of banning Kenny Omega from going to shows in Japan. That's literally something that New Japan did. When Kenny Omega went back to Japan for his show, New Japan really went out of its way to be super petty and make it super difficult for Kenny to get to that show. It's pretty ridiculous. There's so much money on the line there. It's pettiness at a whole new level, but that's the whole wrestling organization as it is. But yeah, Jeff Cobb probably will sign. But at the end of the day, last week's AEW Dynamite, fantastic. That Cody Wardlow steel cage match, I really love that steel cage that AEW debuted because it looked a lot very old school, very WCW old school. Kind of reminded me of the Macho Man versus Spider-Man cage from the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. I love that cage. It looked great. And I love that the stipulation is it's pinfall or submission. You can't escape the cage to win the match. Because steel cage matches, at the end of the day, my boys, in my opinion, the whole point of it is to keep the competitors in the cage until somebody wins. Escaping the cage is kind of hypocritical, in my opinion. So I really love that AEW took that stipulation out. I thought that was a very smart decision by the AEW creative team to strip that idea completely away. Because the match itself was fantastic. And I got to be honest with you, I was very surprised by Wardlow. Wardlow can get it done, my boys. Like, that dude is super talented. Now, I don't know how he is promo-wise, but his wrestling ability is very well done. As a big guy, he's agility in the ring and the back and forth action. I think Wardlow can get over pretty quickly. He hit the F10 at one point. He sells very great. He's a very big guy and he can compete in the ring. And whenever Brian Cage shows up, I'm going to need that Spider-Man twin meme between the both of them because they're built the same and they're both wearing the singlet. Then we got to get that Spider-Man meme between Brian Cage and Wardlow. The cage match itself was fantastic. Cody hitting that moonsault. What did I say? Moonsault? Jesus Christ. Moonshine. That's a drink, my boys. Cody hitting the moonsault off of the cage. Thing of beauty. Nobody saw it coming. Very reminiscent of when Kurt Angle did it all those years ago during the Attitude Era. It was a beautiful match. It was such a fantastic match. And AEW is just killing it in 2020. Like, for all the people that called this company a t-shirt company and said that it wouldn't even last a year, they're here to stay. They're giving, like, pay-per-view styled shows on TNT every Wednesday night. Not to mention Revolution is this Saturday. AEW is having an absolutely killer 2020. The Kenny Hangman Luger Sting relationship thing they got going on there, huge fan of that. That tag match is probably the tag match of the year as of now. But the Cody steel cage match, man, that was a killer of a cage match. It's been a while since I've seen a cage match, and I've enjoyed it through food. It's been a very long time. I can't even tell you the last steel cage match that I watched that I enjoyed. Because WWE, for me, has ruined cage matches. They ruined the Hell in a Cell for me. And I don't know if they could ever fix the Hell in a Cell. What they did to the Hell in a Cell this last year between The Fiend and Seth Rollins was so disrespectful. It spit in the face of the legacy of the Hell in a Cell. So whenever the steel cages are introduced, I really have a hard time caring. But AEW, now they should not use the steel cage match all the time. It should be a very gimmicky match to have for big rivalries. But this was a great introduction to a cage for them on a TNT in a match that was important, that had storyline, Brandy no longer being a part of that terrible Nightmare Collective, what they were doing, the whole cult shave your head following. I'm so glad that AEW listened to the fans and they're like, nobody's buying this. Let's just toss it in the trash can, come up with a better idea, because Brandy is better when she's along with Cody. It's just fact. I know they want Brandy to do her own thing, and Brandy is a really underrated talent. I think people get annoyed with her unfairly, but she's underrated as a talent. But I think she just fits better when she's coming out with Cody. And even Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson's fantastic next to Cody as well. I don't know if I needed Arn Anderson to be with Cody, but I enjoyed it. So I loved all the things that AEW did last week. It was the best AEW Dynamite show so far. From top to bottom, through and through, they have done a fantastic job. Killer job. And I loved that Cody match. I was planning on doing a reaction to that, which is why I'm bringing it up now. It's just the problem was, couldn't save the video. Laptop was fried. So you missed that reaction because I couldn't get the shit done. But we're back, hopefully. If this video's up, then we're back. But if it's not up, that means shit went down and I still don't have a laptop. So cross your fingers, my boys. Cross your fingers. Because if this thing's fried, Hollywood's going to be gone for a minute. For a minute. Because the laptops ain't cheap, my boys. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as time goes on. Also, Cody's promo. If you missed it, they had like a after AEW promo by Cody. Man, if you have not seen that promo that Cody had after that steel cage match, after AEW Dynamite went off the air, I highly advise that you go onto YouTube and go check that out later on. Finish this podcast first, and then go on AEW's YouTube channel. Go find the Cody promo after AEW Dynamite went off the air, and prepare to get teary-eyed. Because it was such a beautiful, well-done promo. Your boy got chills, teary-eyed, the whole damn thing. And I'm going to say, I think Cody Rhodes is the best babyface in professional wrestling today. Hands down. I truly believe he is the best babyface in pro wrestling today. I also think he is one of the best promos in all of wrestling today. Cody's promos are so emotional. They're so riveting. They suck you in. They tell a story. Nobody has done it better in the last calendar year than Cody. The fact that he can get over without having to win a title or be part of some David versus Goliath storyline. The fact that he's doing it his own way and doing everything he can to get all the eyes on this company. It's very, very admiring. It's very motivational as well. Because here's a kid that I remember when he debuted, man. I remember when he first debuted on this rivalry with Randy, and Randy Orton was still the legend killer, and he was slapping Dusty, and Cody was stepping up to the plate. I still remember that. And all these years later, seeing this guy be the best that he is in his prime right now. And I don't care if that's a hot take. I think Cody is the best babyface in professional wrestling today. If you disagree with that, comment down below. Let me know who you think is the best babyface in pro wrestling today. For me, I think it's Cody. Hands down. I don't think anybody does it better. And AEW Revolution's going to be sick. And this week's AEW Dynamite's going to be amazing. And I love NXT. Let's not get that twisted. I don't want to make it seem like I've completely abandoned the NXT ship. But AEW has been killing it, man. And every Wednesday night, I'm more excited to watch an AEW Dynamite episode than an NXT episode at all. Especially since I do NXT Top 10 anyways. Which is why I'm not watching Raw right now. Because hopefully the Top 10 reactions come back tomorrow. But AEW's killing it. And I got to give props for that. Cody, best babyface in pro wrestling today. That is your boy's opinion. Another video that I wanted to do while your boy was away was to discuss that the Lakers signed Markieff Morris. Now, remember we talked about this last week. Laker Nation, Lakers Twitter was up in arms, going crazier than usual because the Lakers didn't sign Jeff Green or DeMar Carroll. Patience, my boys, patience pays off. Rob Pelinka knew what he was doing. It's time to give Pelinka credit where it's due. This guy knows what he's doing. Markieff Morris is now a Laker. And even though I know some fans are like, well, the Lakers needed a point guard. Look, forget about the whole point guard situation. Darren Collison screwed that up. I'm not going to talk about that for the third episode in a row. Go watch the other 2 episodes when I really got into what Darren Collison did to the Lakers. But at the end of the day, Darren Collison screwed the Lakers. That is fact, not fiction. Darren Collison screwed the Lakers out of him being their point guard or Spencer Dinwiddie being their point guard. But what is funny is when I talked about the Darren Collison screw job, I talked that the Lakers were also discussing trading for Markieff Morris. Well, at the end of the day, the Lakers had to give up nothing. Nothing. Pretty much what they did was trade Cousins for Markieff. And they cut Cousins with the idea that Cousins is still going to rehab in the Lakers facility, and there's still a mutual interest between Pelinka, the Lakers, and Cousins for him to resign. Because let's be honest, there was no way, shape, or form that Cousins was going to come back at any point. And even if Cousins did come back at sometime during the season or in the playoffs, what difference was he going to make? This is a guy coming back from a torn Achilles from about 2 years ago. But he tore his hamstring. What did he do last year in the playoffs with the Warriors? He tore something. There was a Cousins injury during the playoffs against the Clippers in the first round. But he injured like his hamstring or something, I believe. Let me look it up. This is why I need a freaking producer or something. But he injured a serious injury because he was out for a while. It's not saying. Okay, that's fun. Okay, torn quad. There we go. So he had a torn quad in the first round of the playoffs last year against the Clippers. And if you remember that series, he was getting eaten alive on the pick and roll. So he's already a liability on defense. But then you want him to rush back from a torn ACL on the same leg where he tore his Achilles, where he already tore his quad not even a year ago. You want him to come back and play and be a presence. As much as JaVale McGee pisses me off, and he pisses me off every single game. Every single game. I'd much rather have JaVale's length and athleticism and ability to just jump and box out. And I'd much rather have Dwight Howard than relying on a DeMarcus Cousins, who's in great shape. I'm sure he is. He looks like he's very much slimmed down, coming back from a torn ACL. Not even a year removed from tearing his quad. 2 years removed from tearing his Achilles. It just doesn't make sense. Now, if he puts the work in, and I'm sure he will, and he looks fantastic during the summer, and the Lakers sign him, by all means, I'm fine with that. I think he's a great locker room guy. He's a great leader. He's somebody that you want, in the battle trenches with you. So I could see why the Lakers would have interest. But when you have a chance to cut him, give him the rehab facility, let him still train with the Lakers training staff, but also pick up Markieff Morris, who's shooting an unbelievable rate, career highs from 3, averaging double-digit points, who's a stretch 4, who you could play next to Davis and Kuzma. You got to make that move every day. And at the end of the day, getting Markieff Morris for free, because that's what they did. They got him for free. They used the injury disability that they acquired when Cousins went down with the torn ACL. They used that money to acquire Markieff Morris. Out of all the guys who have been free agents, other than Reggie Jackson, Markieff Morris was probably the best available buyout free agent. I'd rather have Markieff Morris than have Marvin Williams. I'd rather have Markieff Morris than have, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. I'd rather have Markieff Morris than have Mo Harkless. Because this guy does the things that I want Kuzma to do, but Kuzma hasn't figured it out yet. And that's also the turn around there. You have Markieff Morris at power forward. Now Kuzma can go to his traditional position, which is small forward. So Kuzma in the wing, guarding other wings, instead of Kuzma at the 4, getting pushed out of the way with ease. Kuzma should not be in the position to have to box out with the Giants. Kuzma in the wing is much better than Kuzma at the 4. Kuzma at the 3 is just a better position for him. And I think we saw that last night because he played some pretty good defense against Tatum towards the end. And Tatum was going off, man. He had like 41, I think he had 41 points, or maybe 43. He either tied his career high or he passed his career high. But again, they had KCP on him. And I think KCP did pretty great. But they need Kuzma to be that guy to guard the wing position because he's the only other guy that's tall enough and lengthy enough to guard those guys. Now, do I think Markieff Morris is the savior? Is he the missing piece? That will be, TBA. But is he a really great piece to get on the buyout market when you had no other options? My boys, we were talking about J.R. Smith and Dion overdosed on cannabis gummies waiters. Those were our options, and they're still our options because the Lakers could still cut Troy Daniels and sign either or. And I'd rather have the Henny God, J.R. Smith. That's your boy's opinion. But even before we signed Markieff, it was literally beg Mo Harkless to leave New York, which is his hometown, or sign JR and Dion Waiters, or either or. That's how the situation was looking. Fast forward a few days later, Lakers Twitter is freaking out because we didn't give Jeff Green a 10-day contract, or we didn't sign Damari Carroll, or we didn't sign Reggie Jackson. Fast forward, and Markieff Morris, rocking number 88, is now a Los Angeles Laker. It's time to give Rob Pelinka some credit. That's all I'm saying. I think it's time to give. And I've been the biggest judge of this front office. I thought they should have fired Luke Walton they should have cut the cord on Luke Walton last year, and they waited too long. So I've been one of those people that have said from day one that this front office needs to be better. And they have been. Nitpicking things here and there, it just, at the end of the day, it's not going to work. And I've told you guys already on this podcast, they had a trade ready to send Kuzma and Danny Green out to get a really good point guard, and it didn't happen because Jehovah Witness Darren Collison screwed them over. But to walk away with Markieff Morris, that's a great consolation prize. It's a great price to walk away with without having to give up anything. Because you know what, my boys? Think about it. I'd rather have Markieff Morris for free than trade 2 first-round draft picks, Mo Harkless, 2 G League creative players for Marcus Morris's brother. I'd rather have what the Lakers did, just get Markieff for free. My boys, we were flirting with ideas of sending Kuzma to Detroit for Rose and Markieff. Now, obviously, I would love Derrick Rose. Who wouldn't? That dude is playing out of his freaking mind right now. But, walking away with Markieff Morris, keeping Kuzma, which was what Jeannie preferenced, it's a big dub for Pelinka. And by the way, Pelinka had a beautiful speech during the celebration of life of Kobe and Gigi. I think Laker fans are starting to get around and to notice that Pelinka has that Mamba mentality. He was the best friend of Kobe. He was the godfather of Gigi. It's time to give Pelinka his respect and admiration, because you need to understand, we were really mad that a guy who just lost his best friend and goddaughter didn't wake up a few days later and was like, time to make some trades. And I know it's his job, but tragedy hit everybody, and it changed a lot of the outcomes. It changed a lot of things. That's life. And that dude got a lot of unnecessary hate because he didn't give Jeff Green a 10-day contract. We got Markieff Morris. We'll see how it plays out. I expect him probably to play tomorrow night against New Orleans. It's going to be very interesting, my boys. I'm very interested to see how that happens. Also, in other news, by the way, your boy is taking notes, by the way. So I have some bulletins to go through this podcast. Again, Hollywood Uncensored podcast will be a weekly podcast here on this channel. We're still doing reactions. I want to make that clear. I'm very picky now on what reactions I do, though. I know you guys love the WWE Top 10 reactions, so that is going to be something that stays a fixture on this channel. Movie reactions for movie trailers will be subjective because they're going to be the ones that I actually care about. I'm not going to pretend to care about, like The Walking Dead came back yesterday. Did I watch it? No. Do I care? No. Am I ever going to do another reaction to The Walking Dead? No, because The Walking Dead should have ended like 3 years ago. I'm just being real. Probably just pissed off a Walking Dead fan, but hey, man, watch Zombieland Double Tap. It's probably a better time than this whatever The Walking Dead is doing nowadays. In other news, your boys GCF has announced that Maximum. In other news, what am I doing this? I'm thinking of doing Mats and Marks. I really do. This isn't a news channel. That's the problem, Like Mats and Marks, I love Mats and Marks, but like we came to a realization that Mats and Marks, at the end of the day, really isn't a podcast. It's more of like a news show where like I give the news of all the wrestling news of the week. And then we sit there and we discuss the future of GC. It's really not. It's really not a podcast. This is a podcast where I'm just talking and venting and letting you know how life is and my times and movie reviews and wrestling news and not wrestling news, more like wrestling takes and basketball takes and pop culture takes. By the way, Rossi will be back very soon. Me and him are working on things. Your boy again. Life is crazy. Rossi's got his own stuff going on. He's still celebrating with the champion Caddy. We will be having Caddy on the podcast, not on Mats and Marks, but on Hollywood Uncensored in the very near future. Because, like, again, it's fun to do different things outside of, like, the GCF temple. As much as we love GCF, and we really do, but, like, GCF is very, very wrestling related. The only reason I'm talking about wrestling on this podcast today is because, like, there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to share with you guys during the week, and I just couldn't because of the laptop. So that's why you won't really hear wrestling stuff all that much on this podcast. It'll probably be more pop culture, movies, music, The Weeknd's new song. I mean, my God, if you heard The Weeknd's new song, After Hours, banger, my boys. That song is an absolute killer. I don't know what kind of character The Weeknd is going for. Is it like a kind of Joker, Casino, Robert De Niro vibe to it? I'm not sure, but it's very entertaining. And also, the boys having a concert on August 14th in LA. I might go. I'm considering it. I gotta talk it over, but August 14th, that album is gonna slap. The Canadian boys, my boys. The Canadian boys, my boys. Canada, my boys. They're killing it. Bieber dropped his album. I don't care what anybody says. I know a lot of people shit on that Bieber album. I'm going to sit here and defend it. I thought that Bieber album was fantastic. We got Weeknd dropping in April. We're probably going to get a new Drake album in the summer. The Canada is giving us the heart foundation of music with Bieber, Weeknd, and Drake. So very entertaining. GCF, though, I just want to let you guys know that Maximum Carnage 2 will be coming to a GCF dojo near you on April 11th, the holiest of weekends. April 11th, Easter weekend, we will be bringing you Maximum Carnage 2. Your boy will once again be doing all the announcing for that show. I will let you guys know when tickets go on sale. If you're in the SoCal area, make sure you come on now and support GCF Maximum Carnage. April 11th, the holiest of weekends, Easter weekend, the day before Easter. I know, kind of a weird day, but it will be on Easter weekend, April 11th, Saturday, April 11th, Maximum Carnage 2. So, and your boy will be there as announcing. Your boy also got a little bit of another promotion with GCF. I want to be working with them on the creative side of things as well. So I'm continuing to get little pushes here and there in GCF. Shout out to the champion, Chris Cadillac, for, he's a big supporter of your boy in the GCF. Everybody is. Everybody from Saint to Wallace. They all love your boy. But Caddy really has their boys back, and he's been pushing me like crazy to get like bigger positions here at GCF. I'm very much established with GCF moving forward, and we're very excited for all things moving forward. This is going to be a new segment we introduced. I asked you guys to ask me some questions on the community feed, on Instagram. So follow your boy on all the social media. So if you want to be featured on Hollywood Uncensored and want to ask me a question that you want to be asked online, make sure you send it to me on all my social medias. I will ask it every single week here on Hollywood Uncensored. But this question comes from Bailey. What did you think of Bill Russell wearing a Kobe jersey at the Lakers-Celtics game yesterday? That's a great question, Bailey. I don't want to say your last name because I want to butcher it, but thank you for being a subscriber. What did you think of Bill Russell? Okay, so I saw Bill Russell wearing the Lakers jersey, and that just summarizes the greatness of Kobe Bryant. It just summarizes the admiration that Kobe had from the entire league and the legends and the icons. Bill Russell, if not the greatest Celtic of all time, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. This guy, but it was very difficult to hate Boston yesterday. From them wearing the purple armbands out of respect to Kobe, to Bill Russell decked out in a Lakers jersey during a Lakers Celtics game wearing a Kobe hat with a heart on it. Bill Russell is a very, very intelligent, amazing man who is the history of the NBA. And him and Will Chamberlain, Jerry West, they really started the beginning of the greatness of the NBA. I know the league suffered quite a while, and Magic and Bird and Michael really took the throne. But Bill Russell's a legend. So seeing Bill Russell rocking that Laker jersey, it was very, very awesome. It was very admirable. It was very cool, and it really shows you the kind of person that Bill Russell is. Kobe won the first ever, I believe, and I may be wrong about this, but I think Kobe was the first ever winner of the Bill Russell Finals MVP Award, because I don't think they called it the Bill Russell Finals MVP Award until the first year Kobe won it. So it was either 2009 or 2010, but either way, Kobe might have been the first recipient of the Bill Russell Finals MVP Award. And Kobe was, when it comes to Kobe was a historian. Kobe knew all about the history of basketball, top to bottom. This dude was an encyclopedia of basketball. He was the muse of basketball. This dude knew everything, from the Russells to the Chamberlains to the Elgin Bayers to the Magics to the Larry Birds, the Isaiah Thomases, the Dr. Julius Irvings, to the Michaels, to the Scotties, to the Rodmans, to the Elijah Ones. This dude was a basketball historian. So it was a really crazy moment to see Bill Russell paying respect. And who would have thought, again, all these years later, that we would see Bill Russell and Michael Jordan paying respect and talking about Kobe in past tense. You cannot ever tell me this was going to happen. To this day, to this moment, I still don't believe it, man. It's still hard to believe, and even in this moment. This question comes from my boy Steven. Jose Altuve. This is not a question, by the way. This is kind of like a statement, kind of telling me what happened. Jose Altuve already got hit by a pitch in spring training. Jose Altuve got hit by a pitch during spring training. You should get used to it. I'm pretty sure he's going to be getting hit by a lot of pitches this season. Just a prediction, Maybe a spoiler, maybe possibly a spoiler, but just a prediction. I mean, I don't know. I would pretty much look forward to, not look forward to, that's a wrong word. I would put my money down that Jose Altuve is going to be seeing a lot of pitches coming his way. Do I think it's the right thing to do? Probably not. I don't think it's right to succumb yourself to that level of lowness, because you could really hurt him, and you never want to see anybody really hurt, even though, yeah, they cheaters, but, we're always going to remember them as cheaters. And I know throwing a pitch is kind of getting revenge and kind of, paying back respect to baseball. It's an old baseball move. And I like how, I believe, who was it? Was it Bergman, or who was it? There was a Houston Asterix, my bad. There was a Houston Asterix player that was recorded a year ago talking about one of his favorite things in baseball is when the pitcher hits one of the batters as retaliation, an old baseball trick. Well, boys, you're going to get that a lot in this next upcoming year. The 2020 MLB season, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be very, very entertaining. But Jose Altuve getting hit by a pitch, my boy, thank you for letting me know that, because I did not know Altuve got hit by a pitch, but it's bound to happen. It's probably going to happen opening day as well. Depending, are they playing? If they're playing in Houston, they won't. But if Houston is playing on the road, let's see who Houston's playing for their opening day, or if they're playing on the road, dude. Can you imagine? I don't think they did that to them, because there's no way they would survive. Like, I'm just looking it up real quick before we end today's before we end this podcast. I just want to see who they're putting. Who is their opening day schedule? Why does MLB just not have like a regular? They're playing the Angels, right? Okay, but is this spring training? I know you guys can't see. You guys are probably like, what the hell, dude? Home. Okay, so their opening day game is at home against the Angels. And then they go to, wait. Yeah, so they start the season in Houston. Makes sense. They start the season 4 games in Houston against the Angels, and then they go to Oakland for 3 games, and then they go to Anaheim. Well, Anaheim's not going to do shit. It's Disneyland. They're not going to do anything. It's Mickey Mouse Town. They'll be fine in Anaheim. But they go to Oakland for the 5th game of the season. 3 games in Oakland. If the Oakland A's fans show up, and they probably will because it is opening week of baseball, man, good luck, Houston. Good luck. Good luck. Cheaters are going to get what they get. It is what it is. Karma's karma. But boys, this has been Hollywood Uncensored episode number 555. Shout out to Booker T. Again, this is going to be a weekly thing. I'm going to try to give you this every single Monday, I believe. So every Monday, you will get a newer episode of Hollywood Uncensored. If for whatever reason you don't get a Hollywood Uncensored podcast on a Monday, that means you'll probably get it on a Tuesday or Wednesday. If you don't get it on a Monday, that means there's somebody else on the podcast. If you get it on a Monday, it's just your boy. But we will figure things out as things move along. Again, if you're watching this podcast right now, your boy's laptop's back, and we're back in action, my boys. If you like this podcast, don't forget to slap that thumb, subscribe, and join that beautiful Hollywood clique, and slap that thumb if you are still listening and watching this video, because that means your boy is back. That means my laptop is working, and I hope I'm not jinxing myself by saying all these things. This has been episode number 5 of Hollywood Uncensored podcast. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. To recap everything, Lakers beat the Celtics. Always brings a smile to your boy's face. The Kobe Memorial, the celebration of Kobe and Gigi was absolutely beautiful. Jose Altuve got hit by a pitch. Knives Out is a terrible movie. Zombieland Double Tap is a great movie. And Cody is probably the biggest babyface in all pro wrestling. There's a quick recap for you, my boys, on this hour-long episode of the Hollywood Uncensored podcast. I will see you guys next Monday for the podcast. I will see you guys tomorrow, though, for the top 10 Raw moments reaction. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Too sweet.